Right, so I'm going to be doing a stream that's going to be about sort of stuff that's going to go on with the channel for sort of, I don't know how long it's going to be, basically. Depends on a lot of outside factors. So at the moment, I'm sort of struggling to keep up doing videos at the rate I want to do them and stuff like that. And a lot of that is because obviously cost of living and everything else. So it means I'm having to work more hours outside of YouTube, which means less time for YouTube stuff. And also because YouTube's doing its thing like it likes to do every now and then, where your videos don't get shared to a lot of your subscribers and whatever anyway, that demotivates me from doing it for that reason. So what I'm doing obviously is doing like a stream and an update thing to explain obviously what's going on. Like I'm obviously not deleting anything, don't worry, I'm still going to carry on making videos, but I wanted to just sort of do a stream to explain, what's going on, in case I get like lots of the questions over and over again, which are a bit more annoying to try and answer as comments. So at the moment, obviously, Aces Gamer, everything's a lot more expensive than it used to be because of cost of living going up, electricity, fuel, food, literally everything is more expensive. Most of my wages from the work I do has not gone up at all in quite a while. So obviously that means that you get less earnings per month. And obviously, like I've said before, that does have an impact with YouTube stuff, because it means if people say, can you buy something to do a video on? At the moment, the answer is basically always going to be no now, because, I'm just noticing every month that I've not really got enough, money to even put anything into savings, let alone, buy gas masks or whatever else. So that's just what's going on with that. Now, one thing that's been annoying me with YouTube is obviously there's a members thing with YouTube, which supports the channel, and I really do appreciate all the channel members. And a thing that YouTube is meant to like give you as a perk for doing that is members streams, so members exclusive streams. I'm going to try again and do one tomorrow, but recently they have just not been shared at all. Like I've got members waiting to come on and watch them, but they can't see them. So again, that's sort of a feature that just doesn't seem to be working. That's annoying me. So yeah, a lot of the stuff at the moment is just going to be basically the rate of videos I put out is probably going to go down quite a bit, and live streams. I mean, I will still try and do them when I can do them, but obviously if I'm working more hours, then I don't have time to do the videos. It's basically that simple. There is a gas mask video I'm either going to put on tonight or tomorrow that I'm in the process of making and editing at the moment, because I know generally people always ask me for gas mask videos more than the others, but again, it's one people might find interesting or they might not like, but it's one I can actually do at the moment, so I'm just going to do it, sort of thing. But yeah, the problem is, as said, at the moment, hopefully some people will be on in the chat in a minute and we can talk about it, is that, like I was saying, with the cost of living compared to sort of, income with various things. All right, Justin, yeah, I was just explaining a lot of it. I'll go over it again, but yeah, I was explaining, like, at the moment, I've got the problem, obviously, with cost of living stuff and, like hours I'm working and everything else. I've not had much time for YouTube, and I've also been getting annoyed at YouTube because, it's not been sharing members' streams properly and all that sort of stuff. So I've not been on as much, and I'm sort of doing this to warn people that, if I'm not on as much at the moment, because of cost of living reasons, it's nothing personal with people, it's not that I've got pissed off with them or whatever. It's just that, I'm struggling to do everything. And, for mental health reasons as well, I found that I've been a lot happier on some days when I've actually just sat down to watch a film or whatever, rather than trying to do a YouTube type video editing or whatever. So I thought I'd just do like a stream to explain all that at the moment, because obviously, like I said, I know with a lot of people, they keep saying, why haven't I done, this many videos per week or whatever. It's because he's a mod and he's a member as well. I was explaining about the members thing. That's the annoying thing, is that, again, it's not sharing members' streams properly. But I'm going to try and do another members' stream tomorrow, probably about 7 p.m, and see if it shares that one. But, I'm not going to hold my breath, because the last 3 or 4 haven't been shared properly. The only people who have come on have been people who have actively, been told, where I've sent them a PM on another program to say, I will be going live at this time, so they could keep refreshing the page. So yeah, there will be a gas mask video either tonight or tomorrow, but again, it's one I don't know if people can like, but don't know if they will like. I hope they do, but like I said, the problem is at the moment is it's just not enough really hours in the day, with working more hours, to actually just do a lot of YouTube stuff. But anyway, I'll wait for people to come on and chat about stuff. Anyway, I've got slow mode set to, I think, 20 seconds, but that's just in case we get spam bots on, because you get a lot of those at the moment. But saying that, because I've got it set so only people that have been subscribed for I think at least 1 month can come on, that's probably going to cut down on those. So I've got a massive mug of tea, as you can see. Still a bit too hot to drink actually at the moment. So yeah, because I've got some stuff queued up that I've physically got that I want to do videos on, but the problem is obviously sometimes is just if it requires certain lighting or certain times of day to do stuff, and then I end up working it, can't do the video that day on it. But there is stuff, again, I've got lined up to do videos on at the moment without buying anything else. It's just, like I said, at the moment, it's then finding the time for it. Yeah, it's a whole litre of tea, kid. Oh, that's good, Justin. But yeah, like I say, that's the problem I'm finding at the moment with a lot of the YouTube stuff is because the price of everything is going up, I'm having to do more hours per week of actual, like not YouTube work, which then means, like less time to do this. And the problem is as well, is a bit like everything else. I've noticed like YouTube ad revenue has not gone up equivalent to the cost of living. I think it's actually going down rather than up. So again, it's one of those things where it's like if I'm having to look at sort of incomes at the moment and where to spend money, YouTube at the moment is not wait. Yeah, shabby. It's saying it's good. I've sometimes made coffee as well, obviously as big as this, but a litre of tea because I've just got back from working, so I want a bit of caffeine. But yeah. But yeah, like I said, the problem is at the moment is just obviously just to try and explain it. Like the thing is, I think people that are old enough that they understand how like incomes work probably won't need this explained to them. But I think the problem is when you get a lot of younger viewers, they just assume that you can, buy whatever it is they want to see a video on and just. I had some problems with it when I used it MKid, so I've just uninstalled it because when I used it, it started causing lots of applications to mess up, so I just gave up on it for the time being. Heating isn't a problem, Asus Gamer here, because this is, like I said before, a house that gets too hot all the time. I think we've only ever had like frozen pipes once or twice, so heating isn't really like electricity costs and everything else. And again, I've got an aircon running at the moment, which is a bit of a waste of power, but again, this room gets too hot, especially if I've got a light on for a stream. But like I said, the house is heated with a gas boiler, like most houses in the UK. But we don't need that on that much because the house is too hot anyway. I'm saying in terms of electricity though and food prices, that's what's more worrying for me really than heating prices. But again, if you live in a colder country or you've got a really badly insulated house, then yeah, you are going to have to waste a lot more money on heating. But like I said, the main problem for me at the moment is just general sort of cost of living versus disposable income for getting stuff for YouTube videos, if you like. If that makes sense. Plus the actual time to film the videos on the stuff I've got. Because again, like the thing is, there's a lot of gas masks again and things like that I could do like redo videos on that I've not done in a while. But the issue is that again, like that, is sometimes I really don't like sort of just redoing videos because it feels like such a, to me, yeah, I'm sure, but I'm just saying, like, at the moment, I've just not got time for it, like I was explaining everything else. When I'm working quite a lot, I don't want to then mess about with the program for ages, if that makes sense. In my free time, I'd rather just have to sit down. So yeah, what I'm expecting at the moment is I might do more live streams if I've just got a chance to do a live stream in my spare time, because they're easier to do than actual videos, in all honesty, at the moment. Because the problem, like I say, with videos is if I'm filming and then editing it, quite often they'll take up, I think it will surprise people if you're doing a 10-minute video, filmed with a camcorder, how much time it actually takes to, do an edited 10-minute video in terms of actual stuff. So, like I said, there is a video I'm doing tonight. It'll either go on tonight or tomorrow, depending on when I finish it. And that I'm hoping people find interesting. But like I said, some people I'm sure will complain about it. But yeah, like I say, the main problem at the moment is you'll probably, like I say, see less YouTube stuff from me for the short term at least. While lots of the prices fluctuate, depending on how many hours I'm working. Because obviously during COVID, I could work absolutely do loads of YouTube stuff because I couldn't go to my job because we were locked down. So I was basically stuck inside, where that was the only thing I was essentially able to do was YouTube stuff. Where at the moment it's kind of the opposite, where in terms of income, I need to be doing more hours compared to YouTube, if that makes sense. But anyway, I'll wait for some more people to come on if they do come on. If not, we'll just have a chat about whatever now. But like I said, I just wanted to do an update thing so people didn't think I was like on purposely avoiding them or whatever. Because it's not that. It's just, real life problems, basically. Right, Nick? You've just missed me explaining everything. I'll give you a quick TLDR so you don't have to rewatch the beginning of the stream. I was just saying to people that the problem is because I'm having to work a lot more hours at the moment compared to YouTube, there'll be a lot less YouTube content. That's the short version of it. I still want to obviously do videos, and I'm doing a video either tonight or tomorrow, and I'm going to try and do a members stream if it shares the bloody thing. Just because, like I'm saying, at the moment, that's another thing that's been annoying me, is a lot of the members stuff doesn't even work properly. And again, there's one thing that really demoralizes me of YouTube, and it's when you put so much time and effort into a type of video, they don't share it, and then you see the sort of clickbaity shit they're throwing down your face on the main page that's clearly been made in 5 minutes. Sadly, there's not much Urbex stuff near me. There is an Urbex video on my channel from an old sewage plant, but that's about it near me. A lot of the stuff near me is just knocked down because of land prices. Yeah, that's good, Justin. Yeah. Hopefully implode, but yeah, Justin. But yeah, I won't say exactly shabby, but it's basically a cleaning job. I do probably 2 or 3 jobs now outside of YouTube, but I won't say what and for what hours per week, because of all the the other weird docs and shit I have to put up with, So for the sake of my employers and all that, I will just say, I do work outside of YouTube. Yeah, that's exactly the thing, Nick. And again, I think the problem a lot of people don't get, and I don't think I don't think it's a problem like with adults on YouTube. I think it's more like teenagers and that. A lot of them don't seem to get that you can't just buy stuff non-stop to make videos. Like gas masks or whatever, or like some sort of knife or a lighter or whatever. Because a lot of it seems to be, where you'll get people saying like, oh, why aren't you pumping out this much like new content per week or whatever, or per month? And it's like, I simply can't afford to, both in terms of like spare time hours to actually do YouTube stuff, and in terms of like how much some stuff costs. Don't get me wrong, like now and again I will, just for the sake of trying to remain happy, I will like say I've got some spare money and I'll buy something for myself that I want, and then I can always do YouTube videos on some of that type of stuff. But yeah, I certainly can't do the thing like, I could do a couple of years ago where people would just find random things on eBay for like 50 quid and said, could you buy this and do some videos on it? I have got a backlog of stuff I actually need to do videos on. But again, like I was saying earlier, the problem is sometimes I just don't have time with work some days, or, sometimes it's weather specific if it's an outside thing, and all that sort of stuff. Oh, is that Universal Credit? Yeah. That's good, at least if you're getting that. When you said UC, I thought you meant ulcerative colitis. I was going to say, I don't know why you're glad you've got that, but yeah. But yeah, that's good, Nick, if you're getting a bit more in from stuff like that. But yeah, it's like saying the problem I'm having is like, because of like lots of various things, like with family life and all that, is just, balancing up what hours you can, put to each stuff. And, like there's a lot of stuff like that. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. At the moment, I've kind of got that issue where, I'm just having to work out really how much time I can spend doing YouTube videos and streams. Like I was saying earlier, I can probably do streams more often than anything else, because they're the sort of thing where if I have a spare hour and I feel up to it, I can do a stream. That's never an issue. But, when it's something that might take 20 minutes to film, then you have to spend 30 minutes editing a video, potentially, then uploading it and all that. That's where it's a bit more difficult at the moment. And also because with a stream, it doesn't matter if it's raining or sunny or whatever. I can just have the lights on in here and it will work. Whereas, unless it's a member stream, then nobody sees them. But, Yeah, sadly, kid. Yeah, there's not much near me at all because it's just land prices. Everything gets bulldozed and like flats get built on it really quickly. Yeah, that's the problem I've got, Justin, is that I don't want to keep going into my savings that I've built up over a couple of years. So I can just, not do as much work or whatever, because that really demoralizes me when I start having to, go into actual savings I've been building up, like where at one point I could buy stuff and then comfortably put money into my savings every month. Now it's some months I'm having to look at my bank balance and think, do I need to take, more money out of my savings to get all the bills paid this month, kind of thing. That again is like one of the issues. And like I said, I'm not even paying much in terms of rent for like actual living because I'm at least stuck with my parents in that regard. But I know some friends that are really struggling now because they've got 500 plus a month they need to pay on housing on top of all their other bills. But yeah, so I'm gonna, for the members that are on at the moment, I'm going to try and do a members stream tomorrow at 7 p.m. You can't just come to Canada, I'm afraid, like all the people that say move to America. And the cost of living problems are all over the Western world at the moment. You're not going to move to one country and suddenly find everything's better, I'm afraid. But yeah, so I'm going to try and do a member stream at 7 p.m. tomorrow. And I'm really hoping it shares it because they've changed how the member streams get shared now, which in theory should be better. But since they've done the change, I found it's been even worse for people coming on to see them. I'll do one at one point, Aleko, but like I've been saying, I've got too much shit going on at the moment to actually promise when I can do videos. That's cool. I've got an old Martini Henry Drower, but it's the carbine version, and it's probably not in fireable condition. It's not deactivated, but it's got like damage to the metal in places and that. And you wouldn't, even if you could legally shoot it, just like I'm saying, for like completely legal purposes, if you could legally shoot it somewhere, I don't know if you'd want to. You certainly not want to shoot it with a full power load in the cartridge. Just in case of damage to the metal. But yeah, like I was saying, it's just at the moment it's the problem of like how many hours per week I've got of spare time, and then all that sort of stuff in terms of YouTube. So it's like I said, it's not like I'm not going to do YouTube stuff. It's just to warn people that there might be some weeks where I can do a lot more than others. Yeah, well, it's a very cool gun for when it was made, wasn't it? In terms of just to mention though, because this is a YouTube stream, we probably can't talk about guns on here just because they seem to really dislike it now. And that's the thing. Like I've had to warn people. I'm not saying you, but I'm saying I've had to warn people about that a lot on live streams recently, where people keep bringing up subjects YouTube doesn't let you talk about on live streams, even if it lets you do it in regular videos, which again is a weird thing. And unfortunately, sometimes you have to start blocking people eventually because they'll just like not, stop talking about whatever they've decided to bring up. Yeah, I agree with you there, but I'm just saying that, yeah, it's like on a regular video comment, you can, and like videos, they let you cover a lot more stuff. Like I can't pick any of that stuff up behind me or I can get a strike, but I can on a regular video. It doesn't make sense. Well, they do give you an explanation for it, sort of. It's basically in case you commit suicide or do a shooting on like a live stream. But like I said, it's a stupid sort of thing. But yeah, like I'm interested at the moment seeing how quickly the Kherson front breaks for Ukraine as well, seeing as obviously the Kharkiv front's gone really well for them. But yeah, like I was saying, the problem is at the moment I'm getting a lot of that sort of stuff as well, where people go, oh, can you do a video on this, do a video on this? And then you're like trying to explain to them, like, you know, at the moment I've not got much free time, so, you know, I'm just going to have to do videos when I get a chance to do them, and then they still keep pestering you. Well, I'm glad you like it. Yeah, I was just saying, it's just the thing that annoys me of live streams is that they used to be a lot more like free on what you could do on them. Yeah, that's the thing, Nick. I was thinking it's worse than the theme park. You know, if somebody said to me, you could queue for a day and go on a roller coaster, or you could see a coffin, I'd rather go on the roller coaster. Or, you know, how many roller coasters could you do for the sake of seeing the Queen's coffin? No, Aleko, it's just full stop. You can't do it. It's basically a thing like if you basically it's a bot that strikes you down, like, because it can be a private stream that, like, in theory nobody's watching except one person, but a bot can immediately give you a strike. There's just no way of doing it. YouTube is trying to make the platform more and more anti-gun over time anyway. Yeah, exactly, Nick. That's what I'm saying. So it'd be much better going to a theme park, wouldn't it, and riding on the roller coasters. DX are just classed as guns by YouTube. Same with airsoft guns and everything. So any of the bits behind me, like I can pick up a katana, for example, and I could do this, and currently there's no YouTube rules against this. If I did that with any of the bits behind me, I can get a strike because of just, you know, that's the thing. But like I say, the problem I've had on some streams is where people just won't stop saying, "Oh, pick it up, no, you'll be fine, pick it up," kind of thing. You know, and that's where I've had to start, you know, blocking people if they do that sort of thing, just because it pisses me off. Especially where in some streams you also get people trying to get you to bring up stuff that they can then report you for, kind of thing. Yeah, but again, this is the problem. It's not me that makes the rules, it's them. It's a bit like our government with some of their rules, you know. Oh yeah, I really like 100% wool jumpers, Nick. They are really good, aren't they? Like the old fisherman style ones. I've got some old wool jumpers in a cupboard somewhere, but I have no idea which cupboard it's in. But yeah, in terms of staying warm in the winter, there are some really good clothing things. Like, you know, as much as people go, oh, it's really nasty for poor people to be told wear extra layers. There are literally things where if you get the right type of clothing, you know, it's like investment. You get this clothing once, and it will last you for years of, like, you know, giving you a lot of warmth. It depends, Aleko. Some people don't like the Royals. Some people really like the Royals. For regular people like me, it's kind of sad in the sense she's been a figurehead for so long, and I generally think the Queen was all right, even if I don't like a lot of the other Royals. Um, but you know, it's not really going to affect my life in any way. You know. What about Gen One Russian Night Vision? I've got a couple of old Russian tubes somewhere. But like I say, the thing is with the Queen is, I think for regular people, it's not going to affect your daily life. Yeah, I've got a couple of those. Well, I think my profile picture's got a woolly pulley on it, hasn't it? The either the blue or the green one. But yeah, they're quite good as well. The surplus ones. I think they're not 100% wool. I think they're mostly wool with some like either nylon or something else on them. You know, for the cuffs and that. Yeah, World War One bayonets are cool. They're generally quite big, aren't they? The old bayonets, like sword bayonets, Smiley Enfield ones, like that long, dirty. Um, yeah, there will be some more night vision and thermal type videos coming up over the winter because that's when it's easier to do those videos. Because the problem with night vision type videos at this time of year is by the time it gets dark, I'm already really tired from work and I don't want to go out on a walk and film stuff. Well, not good casually. As I was saying all throughout the stream, is that the problem is at the moment, every month I get to the stage where I think, do I have to dip into my savings to just pay for real life stuff like food? Partel, probably like 150. I've not counted them in ages. It's the curse of the Naked Gun, Aleko, because Gorbachev's in the Naked Gun, and so is the Queen. Obviously, it's actors playing them, but still. But like, it's not really going down casually, because I'm being very careful not to dip into it if I really don't have to. But it's not really going up. That's the issue. Just because, like I say, now that, you know, like a lot of things like fuel have gone up essentially 300% in a few months and all things like that. You might find the video quite good then. I'm going to either put on tonight or tomorrow about gas masks. It depends if I get it finished tonight. I don't want to spoil too much about it, but it could be a bit nightmare fuely. And the good thing for me is it won't cost me any money to do this video. It's like one of those ones where it's going to take a load of time to put it together, but I don't actually have to spend anything on it because I can do it using, you know, completely like Creative Commons attributed sort of stuff to do it. But yeah, I suppose Halloween isn't too far away, is it? A month and a bit. I quite liked, I think it was in Dishonored where they had the gas masks that looked like Plague Doctor masks, you know, like Plague Doctor masks actually made into gas masks. All right, Michael. Oh, that's cool. Hopefully you got them for a good price, but the FM12s are really good. There we go. I conveniently have one handy. But yeah, FM12s, like I said, shit, can't afford to have my glasses broken. FM12s are, yeah, genuinely damn good masks. So yeah, if you've managed to get one of these for a good price, or two of these, as you said, for a good price, that's great. Like I said, yeah, I've just got my one handy. Just because it's sitting there like a backdrop decoration that doesn't take much effort. There we go. It's a shame it wasn't for a good price, but at least you've got them if you're getting them for like family members or whatever to keep people safe. Because again, the Israeli ones are perfectly good, but the FM12 is actually a damn good mask in terms of being able to do stuff with it. Most of them, casually, unless they're like the really cheap Chinese ones, will be absolutely fine because of the fact that, you know, they're designed to run with high voltage electronics in them, you know, and stuff like that. Don't eat the filter. Right. Because I find it interesting, Partel, if your name's pronounced Partel. Apologies if it's not. I just find it interesting. You know, it's like YouTube is much better, I think, in terms of content when the channel that makes stuff is into the stuff they're making and not just doing it because they think it's popular. Like, again, that was something I was moaning about earlier, is when you end up seeing a YouTube videos of millions of views where it's basically like some e-celeb talking about something they have no clue about what they're talking about. Yes, I've got videos on them casually, and like I said, I'll be careful what I say on here because it's a live stream, even though I can legally talk about it in the UK. But I've got a Martini Henry that's not in great condition, so I wouldn't want to shoot that. That revolver there's an old pinfire, so that's a real gun. There's another pinfire I've got that's fallen off of that shelf, and I've not reached down behind everything to pick it back up yet. And I've got a Schmidt-Rubin bolt action and an Austrian is it the 1886 Mannlicher? Both of those are completely fireable if you had like a round to put in them. That's a lot of money, but I suppose if you wanted to spend that on it, you know, spend that on it. Again, that was a really good thing at one point with Schmidt-Rubins, is a lot of the sites selling them at one point, you know, if you went back a year or so ago, had them for like £500 or less for like, you know, 120-year-old bolt actions. Lugers are amazing, but yeah. That's not bad at all, M-Kid, with current prices, you know. But anyway, yeah, like I said, I won't be on this stream for too much longer, but I'm glad most of the people who have been on today actually, you know, are quite understanding of everything's getting more and more expensive, so it's harder and harder to do something. Because the problem is with YouTube is, like, it's not like one of those things where you just do a video and then you get some money from it. Like, say some of my old videos are really good in terms of like every month they make a fiver, and if every video like that was great, because that meant like times all my videos by £5, and then I'd be earning shitloads of money. But the problem is a lot of videos you make, and they'll like essentially might make 20 pence on the first day they're up, and then not make anything again. They come into different categories, Leco, depending on what type of firearm it is. Mostly, Rich, it's like plasticky inserts now, but I think it just depends on what vest they buy. As long as it meets the same protection rating, I don't think the police themselves actually care, because it's not like the police use one kind of vest and panel, all across the thing. It's basically, as long as the vests and panels meet their requirements, I guess they just buy what the cheapest one is from a supplier, I'd imagine. Pistols, black powder and obsolete calibers you can own, but like modern ones, no. After the Dunblane shooting, they just banned pistols outright. But yeah, most of them now, Rich, have this stuff in that kind of is like a plasticky, sandpapery like type thing, where you have a bit of Kevlar, then you've got a bit of that, a bit of Kevlar, a bit of that, and it's kind of just sandwiched together. I've got a compound crossbow and I've got a compound bow. There's videos on my channel of them being shot. Again, the problem I have with bows and that is I really enjoy bows and crossbows, but I've got the problem now where I can't shoot them in the garden very much. So, it's not like I can just easily go and film the videos on them. So that's a really annoying thing for me. Like where I've got this stuff and I can do videos on it, but a lot of the time, I can't do videos on it unless the weather's like okay for doing it, and I'm not going to be bothering anybody either side, like next door, doing the videos. So that's the annoying thing now, like where it used to be at one point, like I basically have nobody ever complain if I went out any time of day and did a video of a crossbow. I've now got people that will, cause a fuss over it. That's all right, Casual. What do you mean? How will a filter do if it... I don't quite get what you mean by that. Do you mean if you've got a filter sealed up, how will it last or what? I don't quite... You might have to reword that. I don't quite get what you're asking to do with the filter there. But yeah, exactly. If you live in a country where you get much bigger amounts of land, Michael, especially somewhere like Australia, yeah, I imagine bow shooting is a lot easier in terms of you can probably go somewhere, nobody will bother you if you just set up a target in a field or something, Well, so if you've got a filter connected to the mask, you're asking how long will the filter last, or what? Or you saying if you've got the outside of the filter sealed, but it's screwed onto the mask? In theory, it would last ages in terms of there's not air flowing through the filter for like nearly all the time, especially if it's in a haversack. So while it's not as good as a filter being properly factory sealed, it's not going to expire very quickly. I think that's what he means, kid. But yeah, so you're saying if I had a mask like this and I put a new filter on it but left that side of it plugged when not in use, the filter would last ages and ages. Like not as good as with the factory seals on it, but it would still not have air flowing through it, therefore wouldn't really be degrading. Because the main thing that degrades filters is when there's constant airflow going through them, because that's when like the filter elements are actually having to do stuff. It depends. There's some other channels that are very good, Michael, but the problem is a lot of them aren't that prolific at making videos. So they'll do a couple of really good videos and that'll be it. And then you also have channels where, they're just trying to sell you a certain brand of mask, like Moira or something like that. Where with me, it's like I'm not really biased on like what country makes a mask or whatever. It's more just, can you get one for a good price or whatever. There are a couple of gas masks I'm definitely going to go back to do some videos when I've got some spare time to film them. Like ones I think, have stood up quite well over the years that I've owned them, which I'd recommend. And every now and then I don't mind doing one of those videos as well if it helps people out, like looking on AliExpress and places like that and eBay and looking for what masks at the time of me filming the video are still at good values. Because, like I said, with videos like that, it doesn't cost me anything to make them. compared to, you know, like actually having to buy something myself. Because now and again, you will actually find like really good, like, you know, like not even with gas masks, sometimes with Geiger counters and stuff like that as well, where like a seller gets 100 of a certain thing in, like a surplus seller, you know, and then they're selling them for actually a good price. So it's worth giving people a heads up that they're on there. I've got one Japanese gas mask in awful condition, but I can't remember if I've ever done a video on it, so I'll do one on it again. But it's in awful condition. Like, you know, I don't like touching it most of the time, because if you touch it, you know, like more and more of it falls apart. I just found it really cheap on eBay at one point. You know, like somebody had a World War II Japanese gas mask for like £20, but you know, it had obviously not been stored properly, and you know, like every time I handle it, you know, a bit more of it's going to crack and fall off. Let me see if I've got a video of it on my channel. I can't remember if I've ever uploaded a video of it. I'm sure I must have done. Because I think I did, because I think some people were arguing over which model of gas mask it was. Yeah, here we go. Let me link you to the video. Hang on. I have got one on there. Right, has that copied the link to the clipboard? Hang on. Right, there we go. Again, it might not be a Type 95 because people were... oh, I don't think that's going to link properly, is it? It's trying to take you to the Creator Studio page on it, not the watch page. 1 second. Right, now there's the watch link. There you go. Right, this is the link. You want that one. Like I said, it's in awful condition. I don't like handling it because every time I handle it, it degrades more. But yeah, that's the only Japanese mask I've got, and that was just really cheap on eBay, where somebody, like, you know, essentially was selling off a load of stuff from an attic, essentially. Yeah, that's the thing. Generally, PPE sites and just like hardware stores are the best places for actually buying filters, because they're not really marking them up; they're just selling them at the RRP. Shabby, my actual name is Liam, so you can just put Liam in the comments, as in Liam. But I'll see you, Shabby, if you're off. Michael, it won't let him in the comments actually put a link into a site, but he could probably just put the site's name, as in what you could Google to find it. So yeah, MKid, it won't let you put a direct link in. Don't try it as well, because YouTube sometimes starts doing shadow strikes against your account if you start trying to link people to sites. I've noticed with people, you know, where it's like the more they try and link stuff, the less their comments start appearing. Well, I hope he does, Jamal. He's probably doing it to protect himself, isn't he? But cheers, Bill. Yeah, but like I said, I'll be off fairly soon. But like I said, at the moment, if the videos aren't as regular, it's nothing personal with viewers or anything. It's just literally because I'm working more hours, you know, just trying to keep money coming in is basically all it is. So yeah, like I said, now and again, I'll still get time to just do like random video game streams when I'm just having a relax. Yeah, I think that's the problem, Michael, is because you're in Australia, you're like you don't have like the European manufacturing market like literally right on your doorstep. Because even after Brexit, here a lot of the stuff's gone up like by 20% compared to what it was. But you know, at least in the UK, we are completely flooded with a lot of European surplus and stuff before, you know, everything happened with Brexit. Whereas I know from speaking sometimes to people in the US and like, you know, other essentially continents, they're kind of restricted to what they can get because of like import fees and, you know, like shipping costs and people not willing to ship, you know, across continents. Because again, I only really ship stuff to the UK if ever I sell stuff, just because I found now it's getting sillier and sillier for postage prices, you know. So unless you've got somebody that really wants to cover all the postage, you know, I generally have to say no, because, you know, people, when they realise how expensive it actually is, won't want to pay the postage. All right, Rich, I won't be on much longer, I'm afraid. I was just saying to everybody that if I'm not on doing videos as much at the moment, it's nothing personal. It's just because like I'm having to do more hours at work, essentially, because the cost of living increases. So sometimes, you know, I'm just got no energy for YouTube stuff. And I found with my mental health as well, it's actually better for me sometimes to just completely not do anything with YouTube for a day, like, read comments, do a stream or whatever, just sit down and watch some films in my spare time or whatever, or play games with mates. I found a lot of the time, in the bit spare time I have in a day, that works out a lot better for me at the moment. So I'm not stopping doing videos. I'm going to hopefully still catch Mike on some of the Twitch streams if I'm awake enough in the evening some of the days, but like I say, the problem's been at the moment that I've just been like non-stop recently having to do stuff, in all my free time, work related. Yeah, exactly, Michael. Yeah, exactly that. But yeah, I'm just sort of saying I've had to explain it to some people because I don't think some people don't really get that, where they just sort of seem to think, oh, because you make YouTube videos, that means like 24/7 you can be like doing content on the channel, replying to comments and whatever. And it's like, well, no, because this isn't, sadly, now my only source of income. And like I said, at one point, I could actually happily live off what I could make from YouTube, but those days have long since gone. How much stuff goes up? Because I don't want to go to this, thing of making clickbait bullshit for every video. I'm not as good in the YouTube algorithms as somebody that does that. I'll try and do a Halloween special type video, MKid, of some description. What at the moment I don't know, but I'm not planning on doing anything at all for Halloween. Unless a friend is like, oh, I've got the day off. Do you want to watch some films or whatever? Yeah, especially since Maniac, I can completely get that. There's a lot of the time it's just postage and import fees, isn't it? So Halloween lands on a Monday, so I'm not working that day. Well, I will be working it, but I'll only be working a couple of hours on a Monday, so that's not too bad. But yeah, it just depends what my mates are doing and if they're around or not. Well, as in, if a reactor goes kaboom, Bill, as in a nuclear disaster, but not from nukes, but from a reactor, as in if Zaporizhia, say for example, had a fire or an explosion. If so, I'll definitely do that. I think I've done videos like that before, but I might, explicitly say in the title it's to do with nuclear reactors, not just, generic fallout. Right, well, I will do that at some point, but like I said, at the moment, I'm not promising when I'm going to make certain videos because of the fact that a lot of the time it then gets delayed, and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, I'll be off in a minute for the stream because, like I said, I want to have a sit down now, maybe watch a film or something, and before I don't have to sort some stuff out later on because I'm going to do some more video editing later for the video that's either on tonight or tomorrow, depending on when I get it finished. And like I said, for anybody that's a member, I'm going to try and do a member stream tomorrow, but again, I don't know if it will share it properly. We'll just have to wait and see because it's not with a lot of the others shared them. Right, cool. Anyway, have a good day, everybody. And like I said, there will be a video up either tonight or tomorrow, depending on when I get it finished. But, hopefully you actually get notified of it. And if you don't, check my channel in a couple of days and then you can probably watch it if YouTube's not notified the people that are subscribed and click the bell and all that, because those features don't work properly. I could do a ghost story video for Halloween, even if it's like not personal ones where anything's happened to me, recently. I can still share like some weird and creepy stories on Halloween as a stream. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.